Okay, so welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. It's just a general chat meeting. So what I might do is I might just do a around the room based on the screen that I've got open at the moment. So Gabe, you're up in my top left-hand corner. How are you? What have you been up to? What's news for you, my friend?
Uh, Nothing much. I just came back from a trip to Hong Kong and Japan. So yeah, still sort of finding my feet.
Yep. A little
Yeah.
bit of jet lag, probably the same as Steve, I reckon.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, all good. And nothing else to add?
Nah,
No.
nah.
No, good. Norman, you're next on my list, my friend.
Yeah, I'm just about over my jet lag, I think. I'm sorry I missed last meeting. That was just flew over my head. I was aware of it, but my
That's all
phone
right.
didn't,
We allocated
you know.
16 tasks to you, and I've got the email on been drafting.
Yeah. So anyway, nothing much else been going on. It's dashed down to Melbourne, came back, and wife has a cold, so we're
Okay,
keeping quiet.
very good. Belinda, you're next on my screen.
Yeah, no, nothing too much. Just been very busy with work.
Yep, no rest for the wicked.
Let's get into stuff.
Beautiful. Janet, you're next on my list.
Thank you, Richard. Had an extremely busy day at Ryman today. It's astounding how much good work is being done there.
Hmm.
And I also want to just say thank you to Stephen Sennett for answering Madhu's query in such a clever way.
Hmm.
Because I don't know if you're listening, Madhu, but I did photocopy my the front page of my passport, but I did not know how to get it over to you. So I just didn't do it. And luckily, you replied with a very sensible response. So I'm glad about that.
Well done, Steve, sir.
Doing that
Yeah,
one again.
thank you, Janet. And Steve, sir, you're next on my list, my friend.
Yeah, busy. Not much in particular to report. Oh, I've still got that name on there. Need to fix that. Yeah, nothing of huge and fancy input or anything.
All good. Madhu, are you there or you're gallivanting?
Bit of both.
Bit of both. Looks like she's.
I am
Yeah,
there. Sorry about that. I'm
that's
walking
okay.
to my class. So everything's okay, Janet. I'm extremely thankful to each one of you for trying to make arrangement for the document. So I explained to the CEO that, it's a matter of security reasons and nobody would send the passport copy on email, and she understood. And then she said she will make sure that the accounts speaks with the government person and, makes the person understand. So they would issue a receipt for sure, but, they would try to do it in a way where they don't get into any kind of trouble. And, at the same time, none of our members needs to share the passport at all. So, I mean, I'm happy that everything's being settled. And other than that, not much is happening, just that good weather here. And I'm continuing being busy with the classes. So my students, they're not very bright, but I do try my best to make them communicate. It's not easy to get them to speak in English.
That's not a very nice thing to say about your students.
My daughter is also a school teacher, and she said that you have your normal students, and she used to nickname them the giraffe students, which were the ones that were struggling a little bit, and then she would spend more time with them as well. But yes, so there is always people with different capabilities, etc. So, hello, we've got another guest there. I can see Belinda.
Yes, say hi.
Hi.
G'day.
Hello.
You got it. Oh,
Hello, Heidi.
Hi.
that was Gabe.
What did you do to your hair? It looks different.
Looks different. Is that your hair? Is that your hair on your head? What is it?
It's a hair turban.
The hair turn.
Oh, it was a hair turban.
No. No.
Excellent. All right, we might keep going along. So, Stephen A., the updates from you, my friend?
Good evening, all. I've been lying low, recovering from complex set of health conditions, unfortunately, and hopefully be experiencing some jet lag soon, as soon as I get a bit better.
Okay.
So just
All right.
planning a trip to Gold Coast for Christmas, and then meeting my partner up there, and then flying off to Vanuatu for New Year's.
Nice.
That's the plan if everything goes well.
All right. I hope it
Yeah.
goes well, my friend. I hope it
Thank
goes
you.
well. Don, you're next on my list.
Right. I've had a little bit on this week. I had the 9800 Cogs at Deer Park on Saturday, to which I think there would have been at least 90% of the still alive governors. There are only three that I know of that are still with us that weren't there. So it was great for me because they're people that I've known over the past 40 years or so. And it's not a bad little spot, that the Deer Park, sort of a men's club, everybody club. It used to be a men's club, but it's now just called the Deer Park Club, I think. I did advise a few people of the international mega meeting. I was the only one who actually wound up there from our club. And there were 5 extraordinarily good guest speakers. We were certainly not let down by either Dorothy Gilmore from Hawthorn or Rob Fisher from Melbourne. Both of them, they both spoke extremely well on their particular area. A little bit less than impressed by Ira Helfand, who basically told us that the world was going to end unless Rotary managed to get the international ban on nuclear weapons. He seems to think that we are the sort of people that can do that. But anyway, but there were 190 people in the meeting, and out of the blue at the end, Donald, without reference by our Indian chair, was called upon to respond. Some people just don't understand common courtesy. I don't mind doing that sort of thing. I was the only past governor in the meeting, but should have been advised. I think I did a fairly good job. I've looked at the recording of what I said, but it was out of the blue, and that's just not on. Just as well I didn't go to sleep through the meeting, which I have done before in Zoom meetings. But
I actually tried to join the meeting, but I couldn't get the link. I registered. Did you get a separate email?
no different link. As long as you were one of the people who had registered, you're recorded as somebody that could use the link.
Right.
So not quite sure what would have happened there, but it really was a very well worthwhile meeting, and it was done at our time, which these sorts of meetings are often not. Madhu's gone. Oh, bye-bye, Madhu. Thank you, Stephen, for your assistance with contacting that Queensland club about Craig. It would appear that he was, gilding the lily a bit. I have a Queensland past governor who is visiting my other club every week, and he was guest speaker last week, and he made a couple of statements that weren't necessarily so. But anyway, that's apparently that's not out of order for him. So, thank you for that understanding, Steve. Next year, I have been thinking seriously about whether and I've spoken to Norman about it today. We had coffee this morning, about taking on the chairmanship of the club next year. I will do that so long as we have a president-elect and the past president is prepared to continue in the club. I mean, to not have an immediate past president would be an unfortunate thing, because generally the immediate past president is the person that can stand in on matters. So it's really in the hands of the club. If we've got a president-elect, I'll be president for next year if you want me. And I've asked John, and John's happy to tolerate me. I mean, if you're not going to get on well with your secretary, you may as well not be there.
Yes, agree.
And so we just need the rest of the club to do a little bit of thinking, and somebody so when I register or change the list for next year with the district, we've got a full complement.
Yep.
So
yeah. So it's
anyway.
over to the club members. Yes.
Hello,
Janet.
Helen. Hello, Janet.
Hello, Don. You didn't check with me, mate.
About
When
what?
you just
No,
whether we get on.
you were too slow. You got in and said, "I'm going to do it," before anybody else could hang something else on you.
No. I'm talking about you and I getting on. Maybe
I reckon
we
there's a
just get on.
chance. I reckon there's
Yeah.
a chance that we may.
Thanks.
Very good.
No worries.
All right, so it's over to the club members. So we need a president
But it doesn't
nominee,
need to be
basically.
done now, Richard.
No,
It does need to be done before these. I think they have to be in by the end of January, don't they? When do what do we call it? Pets start.
Well, I think they have one version of pets fairly soon, or
Yeah.
maybe already have, and then I
Right.
think there's one in February, and then there's one in.
Yeah, I think it needs to be before the end of January.
Yeah.
But,
That sounds good.
Yeah, there's
Okay,
no formal
excellent.
deadline, but pets will definitely be underway by the end of January and probably already by now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
All right, excellent. Okay, well, we'll keep having the
Good
discussion.
news.
Yep. Lilia, how are you? You're next on my list.
I've just been from the St. John of God Hospital for my heart test.
Yep.
For my 60% blockage, nothing has changed. For 1 year, I've been trying to melt that cholesterol, and the doctor told me it cannot be melted in just 1 year because it was for too long. It's
Been there. Yep.
being there, but my ECG normal.
excellent.
My aorta has not changed, and
Good.
the doctor was very happy, and my blood pressure normal.
Beautiful.
The problem only is my 60% heart blockage that always grinding my heart. That's the not only problem, the worst problem.
Right.
But I will try to, because I have a dietitian and I have a allied health who always come to the house to take care of me and to do almost everything of my life. I'm being taken care of. I'm a gold card holder, by the way. My husband was a retired Navy veteran from war. So I have a gold card, so no problem for whatever expenses.
So you're getting the services you need. That's excellent.
Yeah, I'm being, all the support given to me by the Department of Veterans Affairs and my aged care. So everything are helping me. And aside from that, because I want to be strong and I want to remove that cholesterol, I'll do a lot of things. Another thing for Janet, I'm so sorry. My bank did not pay. The reason of my bank, for the donation, I promised $50 for Madu. It says the bank did not pay because unusual bank account number. Actually, my bank, two banks, I have ENZ and Bendigo, has been replaced because somebody in UK has been deducting my bank $450 a fortnight. So my bank cards are all new. And this time it did not went through. I don't know. Sorry for that.
It's okay, my love. Well, I think probably what the board may well decide, or what I might recommend, is that we do another call out for donations next year for the Indian project,
Second round. Yeah.
Amadu.
Yeah, I reckon that'd be a good
And
idea.
then we can get other members to, make donations as well.
Because the issue is going to be the same, probably the same time next year.
What's that?
The issue will probably be the same next year because there might be new rounds of orphans back in there. I'm just thinking that it's not just going to go away by one donation as far as the blankets and the food and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't understand what you're saying, Richard.
It's one-off donation's not going to fix the problem.
There will always be more need.
There will always be more need.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else from you, Lilia?
That's all. Another thing. Am I included in the 21st because I want to be strong? I want to move around so that this cholesterol will be
Already done.
already
Yes.
done. So
Already
I need
done.
to pay how much, or what's the method of payment?
It'll be on the night. So paying for our own meals on the night is
On the night.
Yes.
So it is Riverland?
Yeah, Riverland. Yes.
At what place?
So what we might do is all these questions will be answered in a couple of minutes when Belinda does her thing about or help us out with a calendar, because all those details are actually captured in the calendar, so we don't need to write things down and maybe get the numbers wrong and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So in the short term, just what I've been up to. So last week I actually was with the Lilydale Club. We had student awards at the Mount Lilydale College, and they've got an Interact Club that's active there, and they had a number of people that got service above self awards just for the activities and that they were doing, and the Lilydale Club actually donates some money to those awards. And they actually had 5 students, which was bloody awesome, and they actually treated us a bit like royalty. So we had the what's his name, Aaron of Avoli is in the Parliament up in Canberra, and he was sitting, and we were right beside him, and we were presenting awards on the stage, etc. So it actually felt bloody good. And it was actually promoting the Rotary and the Interact people, and we're actually going to be working with them next year. They want to do an art show about sustainability and that type of stuff. So there might be some opportunities next year just with the Interact Club and promoting Rotary and activities. So I'll try and keep you guys up to date. But I enjoyed it. I walked away pumped. It's been a long time since I've walked away from an event. I thought that was really cool. So that was last week, and then yes, we had the board meeting last week, and we discussed a couple of items. So one of the things that we want to have a chat about is we've got a web page or a web comms team. Belinda's leading that team, and they've been doing a bit of work in the space as far as the website and the calendar is concerned. So, Belinda, I might hand over to you, and over to you.
Sure. And thank you for giving me all the credit for all of the work that you've done, Richard. I appreciate that.
But look, we did have a little catch up the other day, and I thought it was a really good opportunity now just to quickly touch base with all our members, people who weren't able to or didn't come to that meeting, but also anyone who's not at this meeting too, for Richard recording it, just to make sure that everyone is aware of where we can find our information. So I'll share my screen in a minute, but really we talked about how important it is for all of our members to have easy access, quick, easy access to what we're doing, what's going on, what the meetings are, what times things are, to have links to meetings, and that it's all easy to find in one place. So this has been devised through our website and through the calendar function on our website, which Richard really has set up. But we would ultimately have, a number of members have access to adding things to that calendar, but we want all members to be using it to find information, so that we're not doubling up and trying to find things and having to ask the questions, that the very first port of call every time is to go to the calendar on our website. So to make it as easy as possible is what we're trying to do. So I'll just share my screen, if that's okay.
Yep.
And have we got our, can you see my screen here?
Yes, we can.
So yeah, so this is our website, obviously. So if you haven't already saved Rotary E-Club of Melbourne as a favourite, so that it sort of pops up easily on when you open up your browser or when you open up your computer or whatever you do, then you should do that. That's a nice and easy thing to do. So have rotaryeclubofmelbourne.org.au as your first access. And then the calendar is just found on the What's On tab here. So you just click on What's On, and that's all you need to do, because it's all on this page here. So first up on this page is our Facebook link, sort of what's happening on our Facebook page. But if you scroll down a little further, you will see here's our calendar. And this calendar is in a month view right now for December for 2024. So it shows, this is also Richard's calendar. So it's got some of his Lilydale related activities there as well, but it does have our Rotary E-Club of Melbourne information on here too, and various other things. Yep.
I must have been, so it's not actually my calendar. What I've been doing is I've been putting the activities that I've been doing as a Rotarian representing the club. So like when I've been going to some of these activities, like I was helping out with the Lilydale meeting last night, it was actually been the IT stuff. I was helping. They welcomed me as a guest from the E-Club of Melbourne to the meeting. So what I've been trying to do is capture what I've been doing, so that at the end of the year, when we say what has the club been doing, we actually have quite a lot of information that we can go back onto.
Oh, there you go. No, perfect. And so obviously...
So do you want, sorry to interrupt, but do you want the rest of us to throw things into the calendar then?
I think, yes, I think in the long run, that's what we would like. We wanted to not have tonight's meeting as a teaching people how to add to the calendar meeting. We sort of want to do it small step at a time. So perhaps we can set that aside for in the very near future. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think ultimately it would be great to be able to go on here and maybe we can come up with some kind of a code, even if it's a color code that shows like a different color for each person in the club. So if I look up here and go, oh, all the green dots here, that's Richard, or all the red dots here is what Gabe's up to, and that sort of thing. So maybe we can come up with some kind of coding way for easily see who's involved in what, and also maybe and if it's everyone, if it's the club in general, then have one for that too. But that's something we might look at down the track. But it would be nice to be able to come on here and for me to go, oh, look at what Janet's been up to in relation to our club. And so when people ask me, I can say, oh, Janet from our club is really involved in this stuff, or Lily is doing this, and it just gives us a way to kind of share not just what we're doing, but also share what our members are doing. So I think that would be really nice. This is in, like I said, this calendar's in a month view, and it can be changed really simply into a week view if you want, if you prefer that kind of a format. So, you know, from Sunday to Saturday, it shows what's going on in a little bit more detail, so it's a little bit easier to read. But you can do that yourself in your own, on your own webpage. You can choose how you would prefer to view it. So by month or by week. Yeah. So that comes down to what you would prefer. But that way there you can see, you know, nice and quickly what's going on. And so if we come down to the 21st here, if we click on that there, Lilia, I've just clicked on that event there on the 21st of December, and it comes up Saturday the 21st, 7 p.m, Riverland Bar with the address. So you can find that quite easily there.
And if there's more details, you can click on the more details.
You can click on the more details.
Yeah, if there was links and all that type of stuff.
That's right. It takes you sort
if
of
it's there.
to, that's right. But there's not necessarily going to be more information there. But yeah, there was there. So anyone got any questions or comments?
Probably the first thing is this the way that the club thinks that it would like to go? And if not, what would be the other alternatives?
Yeah, so for the people who perhaps who weren't in on our website chat meeting, maybe you might have some thoughts about this, about whether this is an easy way to keep track of what everyone's up to and what we're up to, or whether you might have a suggestion for something different.
I'm just wondering why the thing that I put up on the 13th for me as working as a Rotarian at a particular event hasn't appeared there.
So, yeah, I guess.
Belinda?
Oh, I was just going to, Richard can probably answer that better, but I guess it comes down to whether or not you've shared that event with the Rotary E-Club of Melbourne events.
Well, I that was the only calendar that I've got. The only Google calendar I've got is that one.
Right. Okay.
So what my thinking would be is maybe in early January we might actually do a training session on actually entering stuff into the calendar. Because again, like Linda said, that tonight's intention was really just to make it that people are aware of it, and to have a bit of a look. And we could actually have one night where we say, okay, each of you are going to enter an event, and we actually walk through it, so that if anyone does have any trouble, we can speak to it at least. Do we think that might be a good way of doing it?
Could I see Belinda enter an event which we can just take straight back out?
Yeah, so if I go to, say, this is my Google Calendar here, I'm going to take out a few of these things here. You don't need to see my birthdays or my calendar. What's the date today? Where are we looking at? Let's go.
So we're the 11th today. Yeah.
So let's create an event maybe for tomorrow. So if we create an event, and my event will be obviously a big party because I'm starting my school holidays tomorrow. And I'll change that to the 12th and, you know, put in the time, whatever it is. And then do we put in add guests? Because it is already in the events calendar.
So if you wanted it to be in a club member's personal calendar, so like if it was an event that Richard was going to go to, you could actually put in my details. So actually put in the guest, just type in either REC or Richard.Selway, see if it comes up.
And I guess
So
there are a few ways that we can. There are a few ways we can make this work. So if people are finding this one a little bit tricky, there are other options as well. So it's all about people.
Which again, you know, Stephen, we might, you know, have a bit of a chat about what's the best training process to go through, because that, you know, this stuff is like an Excel sheet. There's, you know, there's one correct answer, but there could be 15 ways of getting that answer.
Hmm.
So, Don, what do you think may be different about what I've done here to what you did? Any thoughts?
No, I have no clue as to why it's.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Don assisting in. I've got that what I put in my copy of it, but with a
Yeah.
line through it.
Ah, okay.
Don't know at this stage.
Yeah,
Because just where
I hate this.
one thing that can happen is just where Belinda's hovering over at the moment with the events calendar. You can have it on multiple calendars. So some things might be on, for example, just Belinda's calendar rather than on the RECM events calendar. So because there are multiple calendars, you might have something on your personal calendar that isn't on the club's calendar. So that's one of the things that can make things a little bit weird in terms of trying to find where an event is actually stored. So, and that's the sort of thing that we can go through in training if that seems a little bit unclear as well, and find ways that we can actually work with this in a consistent way that everyone's familiar with.
Can we also deal with the situation where somebody uses the Apple iCal calendar and doesn't use a Google Calendar?
Yep, so to that, the Google Calendar as well can also be shared in the iCal format as well. So with that, you can just get a copy of the link as well, and that can then pop up in your iCal.
Yeah,
But it's definitely something that's doable. Yeah.
I'm happy to go on the website, but I don't want to confuse the two. That's all.
So Belinda, if you actually just scroll down a little bit and open up tonight's meeting, so if you just click on that guy there, the one to your right, where the red line is.
Oh yeah, this one here.
Open that one up. I've actually embedded the meeting. Oh, no, that's actually for the board meeting on.
Yeah, I was going to say that's that. Yeah.
So I've actually made an error there. I've actually dropped in the club board meeting there, so I can fix that. But it's actually a good example. If you open that, I've actually got a link to the Zoom meeting and a link to the board meeting minutes, actually. So when we're having a meeting, you can actually drop all the stuff that you need to access in the calendar event, and then you don't need to try and find any of that. So I've made an error of actually, that's supposed to be on the 4th, not the 11th, an easy fix. But it's some of the functionality of once we get used to the calendar, it's like anything new, it takes a little while to get used to. You can actually make it so much easier so you don't have to find things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I think we just, I think this format is reasonably clean and easy to read. I think, it's a quick way to find what's going on and, what meetings we've got coming up. So if you're not sure, you can say, all right, January 8th, what we've got going on, and there's a link to that meeting. Okay. It's a club meeting.
Yeah,
anyway?
So the red dot I know is the booking system that Gabe used to have about booking the time slot for the Zoom, so that the club members can actually use the Zoom account, the club Zoom account. So if you had a meeting that you wanted to run and use that account, you could actually book it so we don't accidentally overbook it. It's not a high use item, but it's a separate spreadsheet that he used to run. So for me, it actually makes fairly good sense to have it all embedded in the one calendar.
Yeah. Are there any other questions at this stage?
So I think the plan going forward is that we might plan a training day for doing actual data entries. So maybe Steve and Belinda and myself, we might just get together.
Coordinate that.
Yeah, and coordinate that, and then actually just walk people through it. Being shown how to do something's fine. Actually, sitting down and doing it you'll actually learn a lot more and maybe some tricks on how to make it easier. All
Yeah.
right, so we'll plan that for the new year.
Yeah. And it's not, again, it won't be compulsory. So if you feel like adding to the calendar is a bit much and a bit big, then you can always handball that to, the secretary or someone else or one of us, and say, this is my event, this is what I want to add in, and we can do that. Like, I think
Absolutely.
it's really important to have access to this, and for our members and anyone who's visiting our website actually to see what we're doing. But whether you personally want to add to that calendar, you do it at your pace, I guess.
Right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Just as a question, I guess, is a bit of a vibe check for the room. We don't have it in yet, I don't believe. But if people were to think, well, we have the changeover up and coming, do people feel like they could at least find the details of the changeover if it was something on our calendar? Do they think they'd be able to go and find the changeover?
No idea. This is searching for something by name, or
if we knew it was in July, if we knew, for example, it was in June, we knew that the changeover was sometime in June 2025, do we reckon we'd be able to find that? I mean, that's kind of my vibe check on just like, does this seem simple enough that we'd be able to jump a few months forward in the future and find an event that we knew was on there, but we didn't know exactly where it was? I'm hearing silence. I'm going to start asking people. Norman, what do you think?
Yes, I think I could
I'm
find
nodding.
it.
I'm nodding. I think.
Okay, cool.
I'm sure it's possible.
Good,
I
good,
know.
good. Okay,
I
cool.
know it works with my own calendar, so I'm sure it'll work in the Google Calendar.
Cool.
Look, you can scroll through this way. You can come up here to here and just go through the months to find the month that you're searching for, and and find that information. So there's ways.
okay. How do we know which calendar we're in?
So this is on our web page.
I know what
so
that
it's our
is.
events calendar.
I'm looking at what I've got here.
There's a tab that says what's
so
on Rotary E-Club of Melbourne.
Yes.
Do you have a page like this, Don? Do you have a page like this one?
Yes, I do.
So what have you got down the side here?
I've got Donald Ripper, I've got birthdays, I've got tasks, I've got holidays in Australia.
So you can select and deselect those calendars. So right at the moment, the only one I've got selected is that Rotary E-Club of Melbourne events calendar. So the only thing that's showing up on here is that.
Okay.
If I add in birthdays, then you can see I had no one with a birthday this week, but if I add in birthdays, then that will come up. If I add in Belinda Grieve, I've forgotten my own name. If I add in Belinda Grieve, then things that are on my personal calendar will also show up. So you can just very quickly select and deselect those things on the left-hand side there.
Okay. If the RECM events calendar is not one of those things to select,
yes.
How do I get it there?
So again, we can do it now. We've got 15 minutes. I've still got another item that I want to go through, or we could make
well, look, forget about me, Richard. Forget about me. I'll work it out somehow.
If you're really keen, Don, how about at the end of the meeting, I'm happy to wait an extra 5 minutes or so and to show you. That's it won't take you long.
Thanks, Belinda.
I'd rather, if you're keen, I'd rather let you know how to do it. So we'll do that after the meeting.
Could I just mention that I didn't have that view at all with the stop bars. I've only got the view which just shows the month. And I don't see anywhere that I can change the settings. There are no tabs across the top.
Can you share your screen, Norman?
Sorry?
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, I'll have a go at that. Is that under more?
So on Zoom, it's just down the bottom. There's a little green arrow.
Oh, the green,
share.
Share.
Yeah.
Okay. Desktop
2. Desktop and share. Yep. There it is.
Oh no, that's sorry. That's
that's on the web page. Yeah.
That's not the one.
No.
Sorry.
That's all right.
That's the other. Wait a minute. Now, how do I get this back? Screen sharing. Stop. That's what I wanted. Desktop 2.
Mhm.
No, it won't share.
You might need to stop sharing and share again. Try
Screen
that.
sharing. How do I stop? Stop share.
Mhm.
Try it again. Nope, it won't. Well, I don't know. What can you see the website?
We're seeing the
Calendar?
website
We can
version.
see the website. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's nothing down the left. You see my mouse? There's
Yeah.
nothing
Oh,
down
see,
there.
yes,
No tabs
that's right.
along the top.
There
There's no
That's
might
right.
be a
navigation.
different. There might
So
be a
you're
different web browser window. We can see the Rotary E-Club of Melbourne window, but we can't
Yeah.
see necessarily your other calendar window.
Yeah, this is in Firefox. I don't know if that changes things because I'm not in Google and I'm not signed into Google on this computer.
right.
Yeah, so
So
it's sorry.
you go, Stephen. That's okay.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I think it's currently sharing just the web browser screen, so it's just showing your web browser. It's not showing everything on your screen at the moment. So if you have another window over the top of this one, we wouldn't be able to see that.
Sorry,
So
but the web
So,
browser screen is the
Oh.
one
yeah,
I'm
oh yeah.
sharing.
Oh, we can see that one. That's interesting. Yep.
So so that all we could see there was the E-Club webpage calendar view, and
That's right. Yeah.
that's right. So the one that I was showing before was my Google Calendar view. So
I don't have a Google Calendar. Okay.
Yeah.
So there we are. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
We'll
right. So
talk
if you
about that
wanted,
later. Yeah.
if you wanted to be able to add to the calendar, then you will need to have access to Google, probably. Is that right? Google Calendar. But
Steve,
if you don't,
I've got a
Stephen, I
Google
think there's an
account, so
interface
I'm sure I
between.
can do that.
I think there's an interface between the Apple and the Google. I think, Stephen.
There is indeed. So
Yeah.
I guess I'll just I might be able to do a quick demo of that, but it is definitely possible to share stuff across your iCalendar from your Google calendars as well. So you would be able to see the Google Calendar from an iCalendar. So that'll be all good.
So we need to add that to our training, won't we? Because there's going to be other people that perhaps have iPads and iPhones. So let's try and make it that we sort of cater for all or as many people as we can.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds
And
good.
actually,
Well, then,
to that, guys, if you've got any things that sort of, how would that work? Maybe ping that to us as well so that we can actually try and answer some of the issues. So my suggestion is have a look at the calendar, go, okay, that doesn't work. Okay, I'll capture that, ping it to us or send it to us, and then we can make sure that we cover that down the track. The good thing about all this is virtually everything is doable. It's just how. And then it's about how we make it as easy for people as possible.
but yeah, today we just really wanted to make sure that members could find the calendar that's on our webpage and just view it, see what's there and what's happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. If you've got any questions about that, then yes, email us, me, Richard, Stephen, Gabe, Don, Madhu. I think we're all on the call the other day. So
Beautiful. All right. Thank you, Belinda. The other thing that I'd like to just briefly discuss is in the board meeting a couple of meetings prior, we were talking about the frequency of our current meetings. And there's a number of proposals about whether we keep it exactly the same, whether we move to a fortnightly type meeting, or what sequence we want to do. So my proposal is we need to be led by the members on this, in my view. I think the board can make proposals, but I think we need to put it out to the members. So I've actually got a survey that I've been working on with a couple of the other members. As long as everyone's happy, my thought is that I actually send the survey out to people. and the survey gives a number of options. Leave things as they are. If we're going to make any changes, what are the changes? How do we keep the rhythm so that, do we meet on the second Wednesday and the fourth Wednesday, or do we meet on the first or on the third, or, just how the rhythm of the meetings work. So unless anyone's got any questions or comments, I propose I'll send it either tonight or most likely tomorrow morning. I'll send it to all club members. And what I'll do is I'll actually ask people to register their responses so that if anyone's got any particular questions, or if for one of their responses I don't quite understand, because I've created it so if it's simple, it can be just tick. If you actually want to add some commentary, you can add some commentary to it as well. So any thoughts or concerns if I was to send a survey out to all of the members? I didn't want to do it blind. I wanted to actually raise it at a general meeting so people have got a bit of time to consider it. I'll send it out tomorrow, maybe put a week or so. Well, actually, we've only got one more meeting. Collect the responses. I might be able to touch base on those people that haven't responded over the next couple of weeks, and then we can have a look at what we do in the new year, whether we leave it the same or whether we make any changes. So any thoughts from anyone on the call at the moment?
Oh, sorry.
Yep, sounds good.
Sounds good. As long as there's not 20 options, because you might get 20 different responses.
No, there's basically 3, and if none of the 3, then that's where the commentary comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Nothing else from me. We'll do a. You're right there, Don?
No, just having a bit of a choke to death.
Okay, mate. That's not good.
Just stay visible for us, Don.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, he's still pink. Yep. All right.
That would be a first.
Don, I really appreciate that when you're choking to death, you put yourself on mute.
Yeah.
That's really nice of you.
Yeah, that's good.
He's a seasoned veteran of Zoom meetings.
To have a death live on Zoom would be quite something.
And recorded.
All right, guys. Unless anyone else has got anything else that they'd like to discuss. So, anything else? Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
See you.
See ya.